So throughout this season of Advent, we are doing our liturgical arts team, on top of trying to create some space for us, decided they wanted to do some dramatic arts, and so we are doing some dramas trying to bring out and focus on the words of our Advent candle. And this week we have skits around love. And so what I want to invite you to do is go ahead and close your eyes and take a moment to just think about the local neighborhood coffee shop, or the last time you went to a coffee shop. You decide to sit down and maybe read the newspapers or your Facebook feed, and you can see people coming and going. You hear the steam rushing out as lattes are being made, and hear people ordering their cups of coffee or their tall caramel macchiatos with soy milk. And you are just there, you can smell the coffee being brewed. You turn and look, and you start to overhear a conversation, this following conversation.
Oh, Rose, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thanks, my friend. This has been a hard time. You know, we've been married for 43 years.
The love between you two was obvious.
Ted was more than a spouse. He was really my best friend. We had so much fun together.
You sure did. Remember that time we all went camping in Missouri?
And he and your Bernie snuck out of the campground, and they bought those wigs, and then they came back and serenaded us, and we were all laughing so hard your chair tipped over.
Yeah, in those days I could tip over the chair and still get up afterwards.
Oh, those were good times. But you know how I could really tell that he loved me? It was that I could just be myself, and he loved who I really am, who I really was. You know who I am. I still love him. The love never goes away.
No, it never does.
Before we were married, I used to wonder, what if he knew that about me? Or what if he knew how I felt about this? But every time I would share something that I was afraid would bother him, he would say, honey, you are just right, just the way you are.
And that's how it is with true love.
Eventually, I just relaxed into that relationship. The years just flew by. I'll never have that again. Who else will love all of me just the way I am? That kind of love is something you only get once.
Oh,
Well, what? What are you saying?
oh, don't take that the wrong way. Love's all around us, you know.
Honey, it's only been a month.
No, I'm thinking about God's love. God's love is all around.
Oh, well, that's not the same.
Well, I know. I hesitate because your loss is so real. But so is God's love. It's all around. And it's the same in one important way. It's the love of someone who knows you well, knows your secrets, and still sees you as precious and beloved.
You mean Jesus? Away in a manger?
Yeah, I don't want to preach, but think about it. God's love is real to the point of God coming to be in the flesh with us. That's some serious loving on the part of the creator of the universe.
That's true.
Exactly. Now that you mention it, it's just absolutely wonderful.
Yes, you make it sound like something really freeing.
And freeing it is.
Thank you, ladies. The Lord be with you. First, say a word of thanks to Karen Schenkenfelder for writing these skits and the following reflections. So what did you notice around love with these two friends that they were describing? I mean, they were talking certainly more than just a crush that you might have, that thrill that you just get from being around someone. Most of us at one time have probably felt that magnetic attraction of a classmate, a movie star, or a music star, a neighbor, or a coworker, and it it's often not by choice. But those things can be fun. But not a deep, abiding love that's in the service of the other, the way that true love is. In the skit, the two friends, Rose and Lily, talked about Rose's love for a longtime spouse. And her memories included fun, but it also included more. It included a deep love that abided even as they came to know each other better and better. When we first meet someone, we tend to be careful, to be on our best behavior. And then when you're married to or living with someone for decades, it's impossible to always bring our polite, well-behaved selves all of the time, right? And so we start as I love the word that's used in the skit, you just kind of relax into the relationship. And so we see each other when we relax into these relationships at our best and at our worst. To love through that knowledge involves faithfulness, it involves commitment, and involves choice, not just a feeling. In this skit, we also saw something similar in the friendship of the two women. They have been through a lot together, including the grief that Rose is now experiencing with the loss of her husband. Sticking together in good times and bad is another way that we make a choice to love. For another example of faithful love, reread the words in Paul's letter to the Philippians. I thank my God every time I remember you. Often do we hear that? And he goes on to say he is constantly praying with joy in every one of my prayers for all of you. When you hear language like that, you have to respond somehow. Fortunately for Paul, he says he feels sure that the Philippians holds Paul in their hearts. And then he loves them so much that he calls out the best in them, saying his prayer is that your love may overflow more and more with knowledge and full insight. And if you want to think of the best example of faithful, deep, committed, abiding love, who knows us through and through, think of God's love. At this time of year, we like to think of God's love embodied in a little baby Jesus. And that was an amazing choice by God to come with us, to be with us in such a vulnerable, low-status form as a baby in this obscure little town. And if you've ever felt the tug of love drag you off the comfort of your couch or even out of bed for a crisis in the middle of the night, you know how inconvenient that commitment to love can be. But choosing to move into first century Galilee as a baby really puts many of our efforts to shame. Interestingly today, this gospel isn't about a baby in a manger. Instead, it's about a voice crying out in the wilderness, the voice of John the Baptist calling us to prepare for the salvation of God. It's a cry that Jesus heard and answered as a young man at the Jordan River. And he made a way for us to answer the cry as well. What makes us squirm is the very cry also comes with a promise of judgment. The cry might make us recall the words of the prophet Malachi in our first reading, where he talks about the refiner's fire. Keep in mind, the fire is not for destroying, it's about making things more pure and more valuable. And baptism is not about repenting and drowning to sin, but it's about rising up as a new person with the Spirit at work within us. So love from God isn't just about making us feel pretty and special. It's a love that sees us, a love that knows us, that wants us, that heals us, and that works within us. It calls us to be our best selves. It is love so big so faithful and so sacrificial and so enduring that you feel you must respond to it somehow. Finally, it is love that we have not earned through amazing deeds, wowing God. Think about when Jesus was baptized. Jesus heard God say, "This is my Son, my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased." God didn't say, "I love you" at the end of Jesus' ministry. No, God said it as Jesus was getting ready to start. And when we are baptized, God is saying, "I love you. I love you. I love you." And when we too have a chance to respond and start on our own work as members of the body of this world that God has given us, with all the people, with nature and institutions that God has given us, God will be loving us every step of the way.